Oh, good morning, afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are all doing well. Oops. There we go. We're going to just give it a couple minutes now that I've turned on the broadcast. As you can see, we're not in the center with all the things going on. So the self-quarantine or the encouragement to be quarantined. So for this week, we'll be at the at the Solomon residence for Spiritual Sunday. Yes, I see a few more people coming on. So it's good to have you all. Appreciate it. Hope you're all doing well, hanging strong. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Yes. What's going on here? Okay. Of course, I'm trying to do too many things here at once, I think. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I don't know how this works. Okay. Anyway, so hopefully people are joining us. Yes. Oh, great. I see more of you. It's a little bit different here. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get through Kabbalah.com, so I hope those people will join us here. We'll be able to put it over there. Yes. Yes, I love you all also. It's great to see you. I actually get to see, in this way, I see your comments right away. So let's just all say good morning while we're waiting for more people to join us to get the idea, because we're usually starting a few minutes after 11. Yes. It's great to see all of you too. Yes, I am well. We're doing well. Thank goodness. Right? Okay. Yes. Oh, wow. Good morning to all of you, or good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. It's so nice to see all of you. And I really appreciate the fact that you're taking your time to join us. For me, it's this morning. For some of you in the Far East, it's very late or early. Some of you in the Far West, it's early in the morning. So I'll give it another minute. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. Oh, there we are. Yes, we miss you too. It's great to see you, and thank you. You know, it's always a win-win. The beauty of the light, as I've been learning for all the years I'm in the center, you know, the light of the Creator only wants good for every single human being, and therefore, the more light we emanate, it has to be good for everybody. So, as much as you are enjoying these messages and you appreciate it, I appreciate the fact that you're also there because it's win-win. I couldn't do what I'm doing if there weren't you out there, right? And the more we're joining together, the faster we can bring the removal of all the discord and all the disunity, which is really, if you think about it, you know, the brighter the light, even in a physical level, if you have 100 people in a room and it's a small flashlight, let's say, illuminating the room, a few people are illuminated and a few people, or probably most of the people, aren't. The brighter you turn on the light, it then illuminates everybody. And in a very simple way, everybody is now unified by being enveloped in that light. And so, the same way with the light of the Creator. The more you and I unify ourselves and we're spreading the light in all the various ways with love, kindness, generosity, humility, tolerance, we're doing our scanning and sending the light, the faster we make the light the majority power in the cosmos, then the faster everyone will be unified. It is really just that simple. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I was sharing with him what happened to me when I was in the LA Center many years ago. We had an introductory lecture, and people were invited to bring their friends to come hear what is Kabbalah. So somebody had a visitor from Northern California, and this person happened to be truly a rocket scientist. I mean, literally a rocket scientist. So I asked this rocket scientist, I said, tell me, can science tell us why light takes away darkness? Simple question, no? Every child knows if you walk in a dark room and you turn on the light will take away the darkness. But I wanted to know if to that day, right, in the late 90s, science had any understanding of how light takes away darkness. And he looked at me very candidly. He says, no, we don't. We don't understand how it works. But you and I, who are learning here in the Kabbalah Center, we do. We do have an understanding of how the spiritual light, because it is the light of the Creator, and light will take away darkness. It's not our job to understand how. Our job, as we'll talk a little more this morning, our job is just to reveal the light. So let's stay where we are supposed to be. Let's just turn on the light so bright that the light of the Creator is able to remove all the darkness, all the pain, and all the suffering. Let's not try and intellectualize how does the light work, how is it going to happen, what's going to be. Our job, which I want to explain in a little more depth in a few minutes. But meanwhile, I think people have had the chance to get online. And again, you know me in technology, and it's me and my computer here. So this is the best way I figured out how to do this. So for those of you who are new, let me thank you for joining us. Oh, and by the way, I want to thank all of you who made a watch party last week, because we had the greatest number of viewers of last week's video than I think has ever happened in that first week. So please make sure where you are, look below the screen and just push the button that says, or click the button that says Start Watch Party. Remember, sharing is the only thing we came here to do. Sharing is helping others to have the same benefit and the same understanding and the same opportunities that we have. So just push it. Don't worry about who will say what. Just let them choose for themselves. By not starting a watch party, in a simple way, we're taking away people's free will. Maybe somewhere out there, and I've heard these stories from many of you over these last few weeks that have started watch parties. Friends out of nowhere will start to watch and then give you feedback. They're enjoying it. That's amazing. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Things like that. So let's at least give all of our friends free will. Just start the watch party. Those who are interested, they'll watch and they'll enjoy. Those who are not, they're not. But at least it's their free will, and they know that we're here and there is something like this available. Okay, so now let's all together do our, do our affirmation to awaken and strengthen our consciousness. And that's the idea. Yes, I see it's misprinted, but okay. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. So as we are now often doing, think of at least one person that you've had some issue with. Could be short-term or long-term, meaning current or something that's been going on forever. And let's just think we're channeling the light from this morning, from this message out to that person, and through them, let them be a conduit for you. One, to overcome your negativity and your blockage by sending them light, which is breaking through your curtains and veils that are hiding you from many, many blessings in your life, and sending it through them out to every human being on earth. The more light we distribute, the faster that light comes back to us. So let's just think of people who've been in our lives that we've had conflict with, or there's still some grudge or whatever it may be, and just send this light to everyone on earth for a spiritual awakening. Let's just let the light do its job. Okay, yes. I thank you for all the hearts. It's kind of, I hope I won't be too distracted by these things, because it's the first time I'm able to see it this way. Yes, thank you, thank you. God bless you also. Okay, so let's just get into the message. So I just wanted to remind you, many of you have taken Kabbalah 1 at least. Some of you who have not, I encourage you, sign up for Kabbalah.com and start watching at least the Kabbalah 1, and then you have many, many other classes, all the topics you could envision that would be of interest to anybody with a spiritual bent. But in Kabbalah 1, we learn the whole technology of why we're here in this world and how we got here. The scientists up to this day can only say there was a Big Bang. They don't know how that ball of matter came into existence in the first place. They don't know what caused it to explode, but they do know there was an explosion, and that explosion of one ball of matter, as it shot out throughout whatever, empty space, which I don't know how to grasp that either, it became solidified into all the planets, the stars, etc., etc. But you and I learn from Kabbalah 1 and constantly reminding ourselves the purpose of being here was in the endless world. Before that Big Bang, the Creator created us as a soul, one infinite soul, and filled us infinitely with the light of the Creator, that pure source and only source of lasting fulfillment, the only source. And that's why every human being has inherently, everyone, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all have inherently the desire for total and absolute fulfillment, because that's what the Creator gave us. So then when we see negative people in this world, it's not because God created them negative. It's because they used the power of creation that was given to them, that piece of the Creator, that piece of light inside them. They're using it in a negative, which is what I want to explain. So, only came to this world like attract like to emulate the Creator. That's it. Because if you think about potential, a check, you have a check for $100,000. You can show it to everybody in your life. You can sing and dance. You can jump for joy. But essentially, that piece of paper is worthless and does you no good until you make it manifest. Essentially, till you go cash it in a bank. But you could hold a check forever, and it does you no good except maybe bragging rights. Here, look at my check, $100,000. And someone will ask you, well, what did you buy with it? Oh, nothing. I just have the check on my wall, just to show. So in the endless world, we were given 100% bliss, peace, prosperity, protection, all the good blessings, but in potential. It's our spiritual work to come into this world, act like the Creator, meaning to make it manifest. So we take the light that's in our soul and we shine it out into the world, as we affirmed, with greater and always more greater and greater acts of love, kindness, and compassion. The more we share our light, the brighter it shines into the world, and the more clarity we have, the more blessings we have. We're making it manifest. So it in essence becomes we're cashing that check. And that's why we're here. So as we left the endless world, we essentially gave into an illusion. You and I created an illusion of fragmentation, because in what the Kabbalists call the 99%, in the spiritual realm, we're still one soul. We're still one infinite vessel, soul filled with the light of the Creator. In this world, we look like we're 7.5 billion fragmented people. But as we've often discussed, that's why. The illusion says we're fragmented. With the help of the opponent, we then have grown up in many, many ways as a me versus you mentality. I have to have good, whatever the expense or the cost to the other person. I have to feel good by yelling, screaming, whatever it may be, or doing good things to other people. But it's been a them versus me consciousness. Now, through Kabbalah, we're learning, no, it's got to be us. Because none of us can have all of our blessings if we're not shining the light of all of our blessings out into the world. Where we've already shined our light, in essence, that vessel, so to speak, is full. We need to find other vessels that are not full. And that's why when we see somebody who acts with unkindness or jealousy or in some negative way, from our point of view, they are now a vessel, an empty vessel for us to shine our light. Because with our loved ones, we're already shining light. Yes, here and there we'll have some conflict, some disagreement, etc. But in the end of the story, the people that we love and care for, we are always thinking good. We're always doing good actions. There's already a filled vessel, so to speak. Not that we can't grow, but I hope you're getting the concept. So when we left the endless world with the decision to emulate the Creator and manifest, as everybody calls it, heaven on earth. Think of that term, heaven on earth. To take what we experience in the endless world, that sense of complete and total bliss, and make it manifest here. But we have to have free will. And free will means we have to have two choices, and they have to be, at least initially, they have to look similar. And that's where this opponent comes in, that spiritual parasite that sits in our brain and is constantly broadcasting negative thoughts. Be angry, be jealous, be fearful, be insecure, be greedy, be intolerant, etc. All of those are the influence of that opponent. Now, why? Because when we came out of the endless world, essentially, each and every one of us signed an eternal contract, if you will. And this contract is between each of us individually and the universe or the Creator. Okay, I hope you're following that. So it's not between you and me. It's not between me and my family. It's not between me and my friends. It's only between me and the Creator or the universe. Right? That's it. Now, you and I, other people around us, are ways and means to apply this contract, this deal, as I often call it. So what's the deal? One is to recognize it's between each individual and the Creator. So then that's all I have to focus on. Now, the part of every person is very simple. We have only two choices. We only have two actions that we can do. We can either share our light through transformational sharing, meaning exert ourselves to reveal more light. As we say, more light of love, more light of kindness, more light of generosity, push to the next level. Just like everybody wants to be. Wherever you are in life, there's a part of us that always wants to be on the next level. I want a little more health, a little more peace, a little more prosperity, a little more love, more friends, more peace of mind, things like that. We're always upping what we would like to see in our life. And so then the Kabbalists teach us that the more we shine our light through this transformational sharing, then there's more light out in our universe, in our world. And because it's only between me and the Creator, then the more effort I exert to share when I didn't feel like sharing, when I didn't think I wanted to share, when that opponent is screaming in my head saying, don't share, why would you be nice to that person? And all the negative things. When I share in spite of that, then I'm revealing more light. I'm taking more of my 100% light, shining it into the cosmos. Now, the other side of the deal then is, it's up to the Creator to make it manifest. That's the partnership. It's each individual and the Creator. As we would say in those simple terms, cause and effect, like attracts like. What does that mean? I do the action, the universe makes it manifest. So when we make proactive, transformational sharing actions, exerting ourselves to share, we put light in the cosmos, and now the Creator's side or the universe's side of this partnership, of this deal, is to make it manifest in the way that is best for my soul's revelation, in the ways that is best for me to overcome and break through the blockages that I may have created in the past of this life and in past life, right? So then ultimately, as I share my light in a higher and higher level, then the universe has to, in the long run, bring me back greater, eternal, lasting fulfillment, bliss, and all the blessings. Now, there is the other choice, and the only other behavior a human being can do, reactive, self-centered, egotistical, etc. So when a person does that, they are acting in the opposite way of what we came here to do. We intended to come here, share our light with every human being 24/7, and therefore have eternal bliss. Because if our light is shining 100%, we're receiving, experiencing, living 100% blessings. No chaos, no confusion, no darkness, no lack, no negativity. So when a person is behaving then selfishly, which is the opposite of the light, light only shines out, it only extends itself, it only illuminates. So then when a person is not shining their light and they're acting in a selfish way, then even though it looks like they're getting good immediately, what we call instant gratification, but long term, the universe has to create the same thing that they did, chaos and confusion, because they are going chaotically against the purpose of being in this world. I want that to sink in a minute. Proactive behavior is in harmony with our purpose in coming into this world. Ultimately, long term, will bring us peace and harmony. The opposite, selfish, self-centered, reactive behavior will ultimately bring more chaos, more confusion, more lack, more challenges. That's the way it goes. Now, proactive and reactive behavior have thousands of faces, but that's our only choice, how to act. Once we act, the universe manifests the results. So one, it helps us realize I'm not in charge of the results. But I know you're already saying to yourself, but Chaim, I studied hard. I went to school. I worked hard. I got good grades. I got into college, et cetera, or I started a business from the ground up and I worked almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make it grow, et cetera, et cetera. No. And I'm not taking away from your hard work. What I want us all to become more and more conscious of, that without the light of the Creator in our soul, giving us the thoughts, the ideas, the strength, the help, the clarity, the capability, the inspiration, we would never have been able to do those things. Again, it's a partnership. Just like physical body, our soul and our body are in a certain partnership, are they not? The soul wants to go hug somebody, greet somebody. The body has to go along with it. It's a partnership. So it may have been the conscious that wanted to do the action, but it was the body that did the action. If you're following that metaphor. So the same thing, every human being acts either reactively or proactively, and the universe will manifest from that. And that's why sometimes we work hard to achieve a certain result, and the result doesn't happen. Yet we did everything, quote unquote, correctly that should have made it happen, and it didn't. Because there's other factors. There's what the Kabbalists call our tikkun, our spiritual debt from the mistakes of the past, or as some people call it, karma. We have to pay off our tikkun. We have to correct those mistakes. And that's why sometimes when a person does a very proactive, transformational act of sharing, they forgive the unforgivable person, they're tolerant to the intolerant person, they're generous beyond what they they were able to, etc. They were humble when everybody was applauding their ego, etc., etc. Sometimes we do those transformational actions, and what the universe will bring us is the opportunity to share at yet a higher level by repairing one of the mistakes of the past. So sometimes when a person does something proactive, the result of that will be another challenge, because challenges are our opportunity to reveal more light. Challenge is not punishment from God. Everything is cause and effect. So it's just you and I acting against a mirror, so to speak. That's why we shine more light into the world. The mirror of the universe shines back more light to us in all the good ways. A person does something self-centered, they're essentially shining chaos into the mirror. Chaos and negativity will come back to them. It's very much that simple. So we've got to keep in mind then that every challenge is an opportunity to reveal more light. As the Zohar says, light can only come out of darkness. So I wanted to come to what's going on in the world now and understanding these laws. This deal works for every human being in every situation, regardless of who they are, where they are, what they do, etc. Like gravity works for everybody the same way. Okay? Now, in 2004, some of you may have been around then, 2004, Rav Berg, our teacher, my teacher, had a stroke. He had a massive stroke. And so there was a whole few weeks, et cetera, that we were worried what's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. And we had this major international event. And Karen Berg sent a message to that event, the 3,000 people that were there. And she said, basically, from that point forward, 2004, it's about the message, not the messenger. It's about the message, not the messenger. And so we've been dealing with that a lot since then, meaning even as we learn in the classes, the person who brings you the challenge, who triggers your reactive buttons of fear, anger, jealousy, whatever it may be, they are just a messenger, right? The message is you're still holding on to, still have the blockage of fear or anger, ego, greed, jealousy, etc. And if those blockages are not removed, then the light of one's soul cannot shine brighter into their life, and then their life cannot be more illuminated, cannot be more blessed. It's very simple, cause, effect. So from 2004, it's about a reminder, it's about the message. Now, when I was in college, there was an experiment that kind of speaks to this. There was a test, psychological test. They took a group of us, they put us in a room, and they turned on a video. And the video basically was a gentleman dressed, let's say like we are, just regular clothes. And he looks in the camera, and he literally, for about 30 seconds, just says like this, blah, 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 right? Then they shut off the video and they give us a questionnaire. A week later, we come in to a similar room, same thing happens, but now they have a woman dressed in like a lab coat, stethoscope, glasses, you're getting the picture, right? And she looks into the camera and she says, blah, 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 exactly the same thing. What were they testing? What were they experimenting for? They wanted to know who we trusted inherently more, the one who looked like a doctor or a scientist, or just the regular Joe. And of course, you can already imagine what the results were. People, at least back then, would tend to believe and trust more the one who looks like a doctor, right? This is the regular Joe. Why am I sharing this with you? Because some of you may have seen it, but there was a letter that was purported to be from Bill Gates going around, right, about the spiritual component of this coronavirus situation. Then somebody sent me the news that it was a fake, that it really wasn't from Bill Gates. So having a conversation with somebody, and I think she's watching, realized it's not about the messenger, it's about the message. In other words, some people would say, oh, if it's Bill Gates, who's worth billions of dollars, he must be a very trustworthy source. So we will look into it and we'll listen to his words carefully. Whereas if they sent the same letter and they just said it came from some anonymous source, we may not pay that much attention. So I wanted to bring it to our attention this morning or today, the components of this, because again, as Karen told us in 2004, it's about the message. You and I need to hear messages. And in fact, the Zohar goes so far as to tell us that prophecy can come from children and what we might call fools, people who are not so connected to the, as we would call it, the reality of this world. So there's always a message in everything that comes our way. And so if you follow this, whether it came from Bill Gates or not, if it just came anonymously, there's powerful, powerful lessons we can learn. And that's what I wanted to go through with you this morning. The first thing that it says, and that we want to keep in our consciousness, right, in dealing not only with the coronavirus situation, but all of it. Before this coronavirus came, was there no chaos in the world? Was there nothing concerning the world globally? Terrorism, pollution, global warming, all that stuff, the economy? Sure, it was always there, just different forms. Now, bring spiritual awakening. That's the first thing that was in this letter. There's a spiritual component to everything. Well, you and I, who've been learning in this center for a while, we know that everything starts spiritually and then it becomes physical. We learned from Kabbalah 1, as we talked just briefly, the endless world was non-physical. But that was the cause of all the Big Bang and everything going on in the physical world, and why we're here in this physical world acting in human physical bodies. So everything has a spiritual component. So let's first hold on to that. Consciousness is everything, meaning a spiritual component is everything. The physical will manifest. That's why I wanted to share with you this deal. We do the action, which comes from the consciousness. We have a proactive thought, proactive action. Reactive thought, reactive action. And then the universe will manifest from that. That's why it's called the creator. We are not creators per se. We can make use of the power of creation by the actions we do, then the universe will manifest from that. So the first thing is to understand there's a spiritual cause for everything, everything, everything. Second thing is, that was in this purported letter, or in this letter, that as we see, the coronavirus, it doesn't stop at the border of any city, any state, or any country. It equal opportunity virus, let's just put it that way. It's affected people of all status in life, all countries around the world, every nationality, language, religion, culture, whatever you want to say. Again, what should that be awakening in us? Even though some of us may be in different professions, we may have more materially or less than others, we may have had greater education than others, whichever way you want to look at it. Every human being has a unique expression of the light of God from their soul, but we are all equal on a spiritual level, meaning that deal that I spoke about in the beginning, it operates for everybody, from the Bill Gateses of the world to the you and I of the world. And it doesn't mean a better or worse, but it means no matter who they are. And that's why, like this virus, it's infected people who are very popular or celebrities, things like that, and the average person on the street. So it's no respecter of persons or country or religion or language. Neither is the light of God. It doesn't respect one way or another. It doesn't make an exception for the Jew or the Christian or the Muslim or the Buddhist or the Hindu or the atheist. The light of God has a technology. That's what we're teaching you here in the Kabbalah Center. The technology of the Zohar, which is universal spiritual technology. So then the same rules apply for everybody. All right? Challenges lead us to learn how to help other people. And that's why in the classes we always say, every challenge is that opportunity to reveal more light, to share more light. Because what does a challenge really mean? Something triggers my reactive feeling. Fear, insecurity, anger, intolerance, resentment, etc. Those will be triggered, but I have free will. I do not have to act on that feeling. Think about it, think about the last time you woke up in the morning, the alarm goes off, and you didn't feel like getting out of bed. You wanted just to sleep, but something made you get up and, let's say, go to work or go about your day's activity. So you were able to go against your feelings. Why? Because there was a bigger picture. I needed to go to work to pay my bills, to maintain my job. I needed to go take care of grocery shopping, to have food there. I needed to go see somebody, whatever it was. We had some motivation to go against the feeling of wanting to stay in bed. So too, the Kabbalists teach us, when we're triggered and we may have the feeling of anger, we do not have to behave with anger. You and I are learning to pause, look at a bigger picture. If a person behaves with anger, it's only going to come back in their face. Don't want to do that. As I can change the anger, the energy of anger, to the energy and the behavior of tolerance or kindness or compassion, that's what's going to come back, reflect back from the universe. So then every challenge is that opportunity to step into the darkness, into the void, and turn on the light of my soul. It's so important to constantly remind ourselves our soul is already filled with the light of God. We don't have to fill it up from anywhere. It's already full. The reason that we don't all see 100% illumination in our life is we're not shining all the light. It's like our souls are on a dimmer switch. And so every act of transformational sharing, turning up the light a little more, a little more, a little more is shining out, more of the darkness going away, greater peace of mind, clarity, all the blessings. I hope you're following that. If you're not, please go back to Kabbalah.com, take Kabbalah 1 again. Or go, we have a special platform now, Kabbalah1.com, which I believe is 20 some odd classes or whatever. Either way, go back and review, or if you have never taken it before, take it for the first time, Kabbalah 1. So then the same aspect of that with the challenges that cause us to think about and act towards helping other people more, it also helps us overcome the illusion of the physicality, of the materialistic nature. The Kabbalists don't say we shouldn't have physical material things. We shouldn't enjoy our life. No, we should. We should be enjoying what the Creator gave us. We just want to make sure it's in the form, so to speak, that the Creator gave us, not what I see out there. So even that, when there's a challenge and I'm feeling angry and I pause and I say, no, I want the universe to reflect back to me tolerance and compassion for my previous negative behaviors, so I'm going to do the action now of tolerance and compassion. As I do that, I've overcome the physical material. Have I not? I'm now no longer giving into the messenger, the person who said the bad thing or the nasty thing that made me feel angry. No, I'm beyond the messenger to the message. The message is Chaim. You're still holding on to that blockage called anger, and it's not benefiting you in any way, shape, or form. So shine light, act with compassion and tolerance and forgiveness and kindness, and the light will break through that darkness and reveal greater blessings coming back to you at the right time in the right way when you need it the most. So that's the other part, not to be materialistic, because as again, this coronavirus, and if you look back, many challenges show us, doesn't matter how powerful we think we are in the political, economic, status level or whatever, or how not, it's equal. Everybody has equal access to the light of God. Everybody has equal access to use the laws of the universe, because it's a one-on-one. The light is in my soul. The technology works. In fact, if I can use Bill Gates, if it's okay, before he was the Bill Gates we knew, he was just a regular guy. Yes, he had a great idea and he had to work it. But he also started out, so to speak, with nothing of what he has now. He built up his business, and now he has all the monetary benefit, et cetera, et cetera. So if we look at in the beginning, it's a nobody. And if the letter, so to speak, had come from the Bill Gates then, maybe we would have just dismissed it. But let's take advantage of the message and not the messenger. The next thing it says, that many times by being home, by people being, so to speak, quarantined or self-quarantined at home, it's helping us to reawaken the appreciation for our family, rebuild relationships that may have gone astray or just distant. Doesn't have to be in a bad way, somebody you lost touch with. So now that you're home, and many, have some extra time for most people, you make the phone call. I haven't thought of so-and-so in such a long time. Let me call, see how they're doing, be in contact or whatever. So it's an opportunity to strengthen. Even though physically it looks like we're separate and fragmented, we can actually overcome that and be more united, like you and I. I'm here in Boca. Some of you are here in Florida. Some of you are all parts of the world. So we are physically separate, but we are not spiritually separate. And here in a very much more connected, direct way, even. So we want to also let go of that illusion, appreciate our relationships, appreciate our families, the time that we can spend here and rebuilding things. Also, as a few people have pointed out, pay attention to how we treat nature, the earth. It's giving us pause, all right, to look around the world. Someone just told me, and maybe some of you who are there, who are watching, somebody told me for the first time in probably history, or let's say a very long time, people in mainland China can actually see the sky because of the halting of so much business through this coronavirus situation. The air pollution was cut down that people could see the blue sky, things like that. Nature is regenerating itself, etc. So it gives us a moment to think back. No, the light of the Creator embraces all things and feels all things. So we not only have to consider the relationship between human beings, you and I, and all the people on earth, we also need to consider human relationship to the animals, the plants, and the earth itself. Because if, heaven forbid, we poison the air, it's poisoning people. If we poison the water, it's poisoning people. If we poison the earth, it's poisoning people. It's all about human behavior. Human behavior. So this is then giving us that opportunity to stop and say, wait a second, let's see how we can work harmoniously with the earth. Because as I mentioned last week, the Zohar says very clearly, human behavior will change the way nature works. The fires, floods, earthquakes, etc., all those disasters created by disastrous human behavior. Actions of greed and anger and hatred and violence and jealousy and insecurity, all those things put energy out in the cosmos, and the earth and the environment will seek to balance itself. That's why an earth quakes. It's out of balance. If it's in perfect balance, it doesn't have to quake. So the same with the fires and the floods, etc. So the more proactive we are behaving, the more light we shine into the world with transformational actions of sharing, the more nature will go back to its harmony. The animals will be harmonious, the plants will be harmonious, things like that. There don't have to be extinctions. There doesn't have to be pollution and disasters. Look what happened. Human beings poison themselves by poisoning the water supply in the earth in various times in history. Now we can stop and we can learn, because this corona situation is making us see clearly. For people who may not have been thinking so consciously, it's giving us the chance to see clearly the world is one. You cannot fragment the Far East from the Near East, from the Middle East, from the South, from the North. Everyone is interconnected because we are all one soul, and that never has stopped. We just have the illusion or delusion that we're separate and fragmented people. So what I do here by myself in my area doesn't you. No, big illusion. Every action we do, everything we put into the universe affects every single person on earth. And then the last thing, it's a wake-up call. At the source of all of these other things we've talked about, how do we use our free will? We've been given free will by the Creator, the free will to choose, because that's the only way we can truly experience lasting bliss. If it was just given to us and we've never seen or been able to make a choice to do its opposite, etc., if we've never seen darkness, we wouldn't appreciate the light so much. We don't have to continue to see darkness. I want to make that very clear. But if we have never seen darkness even once, we wouldn't have the same appreciation for what is the light. If we had never experienced a toothache, we wouldn't be able to have the same appreciation for having no toothache. So there had to be free will. We came into this world, and this situation now is giving us the moment to think back, stop, and say, wait a second, how are we using our free will? Are we using our free will to realize there's a spiritual cause or not? Are we using our free will to think, spiritually the laws of the universe work the same? So wherever we are equally close to our infinite bliss as everybody else on earth. Are we using our free will to overcome our possessive, compulsive, selfish, egotistical, materialistic behavior? Are we thinking only of ourselves to the exclusion of others? Is that how we want to use our free will? Are we paying attention to what we're doing with the world and the relationships that we have with other people? This is a very powerful message. Let whoever the messenger was make us not heed the message. The message is very, very important. The message is very powerful. And especially in this time, those of you who have studied, we know there's a spiritual evolution and actually a revolution going on. More and more people are waking up because the light of our soul is already there. The most negative person on earth is inherently receiving a spiritual awakening because our soul's light is on a time clock. And I don't want to get into all those details now, but let's just understand there is a deadline to revealing that light. And that's why there's so much pressure in the world today. And even the external, like this corona situation, is showing us all the world interconnected. It started with one person. It's now affected the entire earth. Is not the light of the Creator more powerful than that? So it could start with each of us. We are more than one. Imagine what could happen is each of us are sharing more of our light. We're pausing. We're beating our opponent. We're realizing there is no fight with any other human being on earth. There's not even a fight between me and myself. There's only a fight with the opponent that puts those negative thoughts in our head. That's our only enemy. It's always been our only enemy, and it will be the last and only enemy that we need to defeat. And once we defeated that enemy, once we've removed the negative thoughts and that negative broadcast from our brain, then the only broadcast is going to be the light of the Creator. And when it's the light of the Creator that's telling us what to do, giving us inspiration, clarity, revelation, guidance, then think about it. Every person on earth, from the most righteous to the one that right now looks the most evil, will all only be able to do acts of love and kindness and compassion and generosity and caring and sharing, because that will be the only influence. So we will go right into doing our tikkun, paying back our spiritual debt, without any chance to do any more negative behavior. But the Creator is not going to make that happen. It's only you and I banding together that can make it happen with greater mercy by this spiritual revolution. Let's wake up the souls, ours more so, everybody else along the way, by shining that light. Remember, I want reflection of the light, so I have to shine it on every person. So those of you who have the tools, you have a Zohar, scan the Zohar. If you understand the 72 names, do the 72 names, do the Anabakoach. Use the Kabbalistic tools that go directly to the soul, turn on a greater intensity of that light, and then use our capability to meditate and shine that light out through all our family and friends, through all the people that we've had any discord with, to every human being on earth. Because if it's a deal between me and the Creator, then as the Kabbalists explain, each of us are a world unto ourselves, not in an insensitive or fragmented or a better or worse way, but meaning the deal is between me and the universe. So if I want my personal world to be completely illuminated, I have to shine light on every one of the 7.5 billion people who make up my personal world. You have to shine light on every one of the 7.5 billion people that make up your personal world. If anyone doesn't care and they only want half good and half bad in their life, then shine light on only half the people in their personal world. But I don't think any of us would go for that. We all want all the bliss, all the happiness, all the blessings. We have the tools, we have the means, we have the way. We just need support. Scan, share, let more people know about this, send them to Spiritual Sunday, send them to Kabbalah.com. Let them all take advantage of this technology. That's all it takes. Just turn on the light. And remember that rocket scientist. He couldn't tell me scientifically how light takes away darkness. Frankly, I don't care. What I care about is turning on the light. And what I care about is you and every person on earth, as I've learned from my teachers. Spread this wisdom everywhere. Let everybody overcome their negativity. Let everybody understand the technology of the soul. They will be better. Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist people. They will become manifestations of that image and likeness that God implanted in our soul in creation itself. So I want to wish you all, thank you for joining us. I appreciate all of your support. And if we can take a minute, for those of you who would like to share, I know we're not in the physical building, but you can go on the Spiritual Sunday page and give your donation, right? Give your gift. We are looking to raise money, frankly, because we're all the classes are on Kabbalah.com. Right now, we're not having classes in the physical centers. So there are a lot of people who need support to be able to be on Kabbalah.com. So we are raising as scholarship will for people who need help right now with all that's going. Because you and I know that this wisdom is going to help every human being in any situation they are to be more of the person that God created them to be. So those of you who are capable, whose heart is open and desiring that, please make your donation. It will go to help people be able to join us on Kabbalah.com, learn this technology, change their lives. And remember, in the big picture of things, not only are we pure and perfect beings of light, but there's enough resources to go around for everybody. If God's light is infinite, and this world is a outpicturing of that, then there has to be enough, as we all reveal all the light of our soul, there has to be enough space on earth, there has to be enough pure air, pure water, pure resources, pure food. There's enough for everybody. Let us not think lack. Let's be with happiness and joy, remembering we are channels of the light of the Creator. And that's our job. Share like the Creator shared with us, and the blessings of the Creator are ours. So let's just take a moment. Let's just meditate together. First on the offering, remembering the Creator has given us capabilities, talents, in order to help others. And in helping others who are really a part of ourselves, the universe will reflect back the help we need in the way we need it, when we need it, and how we need it. So it's with joy and happiness, it's with security and certainty in the resources of the light of the Creator that are abundantly available to each and every one of us, that we make this gift, we give this offering to help awaken the souls of other people, that peace and harmony in the world can take place faster and with more mercy by spreading the light of the Zohar and this wisdom of Kabbalah that we have all benefited from. So we're injecting our light and our love and our blessings into this gift, reach the heart and soul of every human being on earth. Spiritual revolution against the spiritual parasite called the opponent, the angel of death. Seeing life, health, peace, love, and unity being the status of all humanity. Heaven on earth, peace and goodwill to all mankind. Together we say, Amen. So again, I want to thank you. Those of you that started the watch party, thank you very much. Those of you who didn't, forgot maybe, please, you can still share the video with others afterwards, right? It's here online. Let's keep breaking records. And I really am so thankful and so grateful to you all who spread this video, because we reached, I think, just over 4,000 views last week. And let's see if we can break that record also. So I wish you lots of love and light and blessings. If you have any questions, you're welcome to Facebook messenger me with questions. I'm happy to be in touch. I'm here to support you in any way that I can, because we are in it together. We are all one. We are all one. So lots of love and blessings. Stay well. And let's remember, it's peace, love, and unity will always overcome negativity, violence, and chaos. Lots of love and blessings to you all. Have a marvelous, marvelous day.